So yeah, so it feels like last month, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. So I'm hoping that this month goes a little bit more smooth. And yeah, I'll just take you along. So yeah, it wouldn't be so bad running to it from the post office if like it didn't eat up, you know, an hour and a half of my day. Like honestly, it's kind of peaceful. The drive is not a lot of traffic, and it's kind of nice to get out of the house, but like I have a lot of other stuff to get done today. I've got this week to get out 2 commissions, 4 paint your pet kits. I need to get 2 commissions drafted for client approval, and that's not counting any new orders that come in this week that need my attention. So that's a good amount of work. I mean, 2 commissions in 1 week on its own is a good amount of work for me, but having a bunch of paint your pet kits on top of that, and who knows what else is coming in this week, is going to be a hectic week. And I feel bad because what always ends up happening is like my daily dogs project over on Instagram is the first thing that has to suffer. Like that's the first thing that I have to let go of because I just don't have time. And believe me, that's not what I want because that's kind of my joy of my day, is getting to spend, 2 hours or whatever amount of time I have just sketching in my sketchbook, or doing a little painting, or just doing something over there and posting it on my feed. But it's, unfortunately, when I'm this busy and I have people who are counting on me, I just have to take care of that first. And if I don't have any more time or energy by the end of that, then I just have to let it go, and I have to not feel super bad about it. But it doesn't feel good. But I'll be back to it. I'll definitely be back to it. Because daily drawing, that's at my core. That's what I really love to do, and that's what I really want to be doing. And it's not that the products that I sell on Etsy aren't what I want to be doing, but it's different. It's different when you're painting something that someone else has asked you to paint versus painting the thing that you want to paint. Is a whole different, it's just a different feeling. And yeah, so I definitely want to get back to that as soon as possible. So we have another post office trip to make this week, but we're gonna take advantage of that and take a little trip over to the Goodwill. I have something specific in mind that I'm looking for, and I'll tell you about that later. But I think I'm also going to treat myself to a little coffee. So yeah, let's go. Okay, well, no luck there, so I guess we're just gonna head home. Okay, let's go. Hey guys, it's break time again, and actually at this point in November I was still working like every day, like 7 days a week to get all my Etsy orders completed. And so on this day I decided that with only about a half an hour to take a break, I decided it was time to get the acrylic paints out and my oil painting sketchbook and just do a quick underpainting of a sketch that I had already done in this book. And this was one of the only sketches that I knew I wanted to paint this month because it was the November prompt. So if you saw my past video, there's a November prompt, dogs and sweaters, and I could not pass that up, right? So I did this sketch of this beagle in this adorable big bunchy sweater, and I knew I wanted to paint it this month, and it was getting towards the middle end-ish of the month. And so I knew that the month was going to be cut a little bit short. So I knew I needed to get this done ASAP. So I took about a half an hour break this day and just did this underpainting. And I still feel like in this sketchbook, this process of working with the acrylics as an underpainting, as the color study for the oil painting on top, is it's the best process for me. I'm still really loving it, and I still feel like aside from the drawing, this underpainting and getting this right really kind of determines whether or not the final painting is going to be any good at all. And so while it's not maybe the most exciting thing to look at when it's done, it really is one of the most critical steps. And I actually think I haven't really shown this part of the process in detail. Like, I don't think I've shown me painting fully the underpainting for any of the other oil paintings that I've done in this book. So I just thought it would be a good idea to kind of show it to you guys, even though it's not the most beautiful part of the process, of the painting process in general. It is still one of the most critical. And on this day in particular, it was a huge help for me to feel like I wasn't just work all the time. There were still moments that I could steal away from myself and get things done that I just wanted to do. Like, I don't have to do this. This isn't a challenge that I've committed to or anything in any way. No one's counting on me for this, but it was just something I really wanted to do for myself. And so getting to work on this underpainting made me feel like I was actually making progress on things for myself as well. And speaking of things for myself, for the rest of this year, so once November is done, in December, I think I've mentioned this, that I really want to do some more paintings for myself. So I might even shut down my shop and just kind of focus on doing a couple of paintings, hopefully a couple of paintings, at least one painting just for myself. I've got a couple of panels in different sizes. I'm not quite sure exactly what I want to do yet, but a few days ago when I went to the Goodwill store, I was looking for frames, and specifically I was looking for some frames with like a Victorian feel to them. Partly because I was hoping to use some of them for reference, but also because I wanted to purchase them because I am notorious for making artwork and then stuffing it away. And I wanted to make sure that if I am going to spend the time to do some artwork for myself, that I give it the respect that it deserves. And I want to make sure that it's ready for framing and that I'm actually going to do something with it. I'm not just going to paint it and then toss it aside like sometimes I tend to do. So I'm kind of excited about that actually, and I'm looking forward to lots of things this holiday season, but I think that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most. I've been working in my sketchbook so much, and I've been really practicing for the past couple of weeks or months, I'm not even sure how long, on this oil painting process that I am really, really loving. And I want to reward myself for all of that practice by doing a larger painting on a panel and actually kind of committing to making a full composition and not just a little sketchy kind of a study in my sketchbook. Yeah, so that's everything that I've been thinking about here. And on this day, I just did the underpainting, but I did actually finish this painting with oils on another day. I didn't film it, but let me give you a quick look at what that looks like. It's cute. It's a cute one. I do like how it came out. But yeah, I was just glad to be working on some painting, and I'm glad that I finished it in time to participate in this challenge. And yeah, but you know what? Once that's done, it is back to work. Okay, so it's really early in the morning. It's the day before Thanksgiving, but I want to catch up on some work today because there's a lot still to do, and I have family coming next week, and I really want to wrap up this month, like this week, like tomorrow or Friday if possible, because I really want to be able to spend time with family when they come, and they're coming for like 7-8 days. And so yeah, so that's the plan. I've got a bunch of boxes that came yesterday with supplies that I need to put away. I've got 10 DIY paint your pet kits. No, 14 DIY paint your pet kits to still draft up and send out. And I wanted to do some sketchbooking, so we'll see if we can get all of that done today, but we're going to start with cleaning up this place and getting some supplies put away, and then we'll figure out where to start from there. Okay guys, so I'm doing some research for a special project that I want to do. It's a painting, and I want it to be holiday themed, and I'm trying to get ahead of things, so I'm doing this research on some foliage because I'm almost 100% positive I want to do something with like a Christmas wreath. I'm thinking about something kind of Victorian. I'd love to have ribbon in it. I'd love to have like some spindly twig things, and obviously some greenery, but I'm not sure what else. And with a lot of these wreaths, I'm seeing like roses, which I kind of like. I'm definitely seeing flowers. I'm seeing some like Christmas toy-ish kind of things. I can't tell if they're like toys or like wooden ornaments, but either way, I feel like those are featuring. I'm definitely seeing lights. I'm seeing Christmas balls. I'm seeing like all of that kind of stuff. Pine cones, that's another thing I'm seeing. So yeah, so I have got to figure out what and how I want to incorporate some of this stuff into this painting, because I definitely want it to feel, candles. Oh, I didn't think of that one. Candles are in there too. I definitely want it to feel holiday-ish. I want it to feel Victorian and ornate and fun and festive, and So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be working on today in my sketch time. I'm still trying to take breaks during the day from my work, from my holiday order filling work, to kind of give myself some time to do the things that I want to do. Otherwise, it just takes over my brain, and like I know I'll just obsess about it and never actually do it. And so this way, at least I'm just doing a little bit at a time, and hopefully it'll all come together in the end. But we'll see. But I've got like another 40 minutes before I want to start working again, and so I think I'm going to spend that time doing some sketches from some of these images that I found and see what comes out. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, so we're in this little sketchbook today because I had some time yesterday to do some oil painting, and it was so much fun. But that means that my oil painting sketchbook is going to be off limits for a few days, maybe even a week, while that oil paint dries. So that's the only downside of having an oil painting sketchbook, is you can't really work in it every day without messing up the painting. And I just touched it this morning. It's still very much wet. So yeah. So we're going to work in this little guy today and see what we can do. So I started off my research with looking at wreaths, and that kind of led me to looking at some table settings, and I found some that had some really cool like brass candle holders, which was something I hadn't even thought of. And so I definitely wanted to include that. And this nice candle that have been kind of had that melty look to it always looks really Christmassy. What I really liked about this was kind of the differences between all the things that were in there. So you've got the soft kind of greenery, and then you've got some more hard elements in there, like the little berries, along with kind of the harder or more solid leaves, and then you've got these kind of more fluffy foliage, and then the Christmas balls, which are obviously shiny, the brass, which is kind of shiny but like a dull kind of shiny, and so having all those different textures together was really interesting. And the abstraction of kind of the background foliage I thought was really, really interesting, and I kind of like that for a future painting. So I thought that was really interesting, and that's where I started. And then as I kept looking, I found a lot of flowers. So obviously I started off by looking for wreaths, and so there's definitely flowers and wreaths, but when I specifically looked for Victorian wreaths, I found a lot more variety of flowers. So not the typical what you would think of like holly and mistletoe and poinsettias, but I found a lot of roses and some other kind of spriggy stuff that I'm not even sure like exactly what it was, but it had a really cool shape. And I thought that shape kind of played off of the beaded swag and ribbons that I found in a lot more of the Victorian stuff. And so I really, really loved that idea of that kind of draping down. And I just loved that shape and all the negative shapes that could create. So I don't know. I'm not great at flowers, especially roses. So that might take a little bit more work if I want to include that in my final painting. But of course, finding all of that ribbon, I also found the big, what I think are like more typical of the holiday season and wreaths and bows that you find now. These kind of big fluffy kind of bows, which if I want to go a little more Victorian, might not be the right kind of thing to include, but I just love the shape of them, and they're just so iconic, and I really like them. So I included one in this spread, and then I also found some like vintage brass bell ornaments that they were really nostalgic for me. So I wanted to include that there, and I really like that. Again, you've got the juxtaposition of the shiny bell with the satiny ribbon, and then of course the little cord, the little braided cord that I wanted to include in there too. The final piece of foliage that I found a lot of is pine cones, and who knew pine cones were so freaking hard to draw? But, you know, I tried to do a simplification of this pine cone, and I think it came out okay, and I think it might be really interesting to paint. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure I'm confident enough to do that. So we'll see. We'll see if pine cones end up featuring. But the other thing that I found that I absolutely loved was this idea of like gilded frames, or I don't know if they were picture frames or if they were mirrors, but they had these really beautiful carved, some of them were wooden carved and some of them were like metallic, like they might have been, you know, gold foiled or something like that. But these frames with these very kind of swirly, but just kind of more just natural flowy forms all around them. So I captured some of what was on one, and then I captured another one. So this one was more of like an oval shape. It kind of came around, and it had a lot of ornate stuff that came around the top of it. And then this one was more of a corner kind of a deal, where it had kind of a plain straight edge frame and then had, you know, more decorative kind of corner piece that, I don't know, I thought it was gorgeous, and I would be really surprised if something like this doesn't show up in my next painting, because I'm kind of obsessed right now with that. So yeah, I'm going to find a way to incorporate that into something. But I think that's where I'm going to leave this vlog, because I've still got, I've got people arriving any day now, and I've still got so much work to do. So thank you so much if you've made it to the end here. And I'm not sure what next month will bring, but my plan is to probably close down my shop and really take my time and do hopefully a couple of paintings that are just for me, and that I can really just enjoy. So I hope that you are able to find something that is equally enjoyable, that you can do, that brings you peace, and that helps you enjoy your holiday season, and you know, and gets you inspired for the new year that is almost here. I can't believe it. But yeah, again, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more. I will be back in December with some more painting, and yeah, I'll see you soon.